Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good mid morning, mid afternoon. Continuing reading The Miracle of Mindfulness, Chapter 5, the last part of Chapter 5. A ride on the waves of birth and death. I cannot leave out the problem of life and death. Many young people and others have come out to serve others and to labor for peace through their love for all who are suffering. They are always mindful of the fact that the most important question is the question of life and death, but often not realizing that life and death are but two faces of one reality. Once we realize that, we will have the courage. Once we realize that, we will have the courage to encounter both of them. When I was only 19 years old, I was assigned by an older monk to meditate on the image of a corpse in the cemetery. But I found it very hard to take and resisted the meditation. Now, I no longer feel that way. Then I thought that such meditation should be reserved for older monks. But since then, I have seen many young soldiers lying motionless beside one another, some only 13, 14, and 15 years old. They had no preparation or readiness for death. Now I see that if I don't know how to die, I can hardly know how to live because death is a part of life. Just 2 days ago, Mobi told me that the thought at 20 we all have, we are all old enough to meditate on the corpse. She has only turned 21 herself. We must look death in the face, recognize and accept it, just as we look at and accept life. The Buddhist Sutra on Mindfulness speaks about the meditation on the corpse. Meditate on the decomposition of the body, how the body bloats and turns violet, how it is eaten by worms until only bits of blood and flesh will cling to the bones. Meditate up to the point where only white bones remain, which in turn are slowly worn away and turned into dust. Meditate like that, knowing that your own body will undergo the same process. Meditate on the corpse until you are calm and at peace, until your mind and heart are light and tranquil, and a smile appears on your face. Thus, by overcoming revulsion and fear, life will be seen as infinitively precious, every second of it worth living. And it is not just our own lives that are recognized as precious, but the lives of every other person, every other being, every other reality. We can no longer be deluded by the notion that the destruction of others' lives is necessary for our own survival. We see that life and death are but two faces of life, and that without both, life is not possible, and that without death, and without life, death is not possible. Just as two sides of a coin are needed for the coin to exist. Only now is it possible to rise above birth and death and to know how to live and how to die. The sutra says that the bodhisattvas who have seen into the reality of interdependence have broken through all narrow views and have been able to enter birth and death. As a person takes a ride in a small boat without being submerged or drowned by the waves of birth and death. Some people have said that if you look at reality with the eyes of a Buddhist, you become pessimistic. But to think in terms of either pessimism or optimism oversimplifies the truth. The problem is to see reality as it is. A pessimist attitude can never create the calm and serene smile which blossoms on the lips of the bodhisattvas and all others who obtain the way. To know that we are going to die is a must, and that others are going to die is a must. Thank you very much. Chapter 6. And there are only, we're almost halfway, I believe, because there are only, we're halfway. There are only 7 chapters. 6 and 7 are the ones that I need to read. Thank you. Thank you very much.